'Tis I, your favourite attention-seeking geek, burdened with glorious purpose. And you know who else is burdened with things? These two reprobates. Introducing Geeky Guy Comics, Charlie himself. You can be my lady Sith.
I'll be your lady Sith. I'll be your lady Sith tonight. That's right.
And then the Valkyrie himself. That is Andy from Perpetual Comics.
What's up? What's up? Thank you for the lovely
introduction. That's freaked you all out, hasn't it? Me doing the intro there.
It has very much. It freaked me out.
I am the god of mischief after all, and I've come to get up.
Yo.
And I think tonight we might as well just get it. Are you ready, sir? Are you ready? Are you ready?
Let's jump straight into it. Boom. Who made that intro?
That was done by Mr. Loki himself. That was awesome.
Glorious editing skills.
That was wicked. Now, everyone in the chat, let's just give you a quick shout out. We've got Luke, who is here first. Mr. Hydra Collectibles, how are you doing, sir? Thank you very much. We've got Andy, Shotgun. Hope that's not a euphemism. There we go. We've got Wesley's comic collection. Yo, what's happening, dude? We have Loki's best friend. It is Mr. Chris Bell. Ding, ding.
We meet again, Bell.
We have return of the Mac himself. It's the one, the only Triple G. My man received his giveaway from the show a couple of weeks ago, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing his video that he's going to be putting up on his channel soon. Hope you like everything you got there. We have ABZ Comics, Evening All, Andy, Luke, Wesley, Triple G, Chris. Yep, we've got everyone's favourite shuttlecock, tennis ball.
What about us? You didn't say that to us?
Rugby ball.
Okay.
No, he didn't. Good evening, everyone, fellow reprobates. Here we go. I think it's time. Oh, we've also got someone's aggressively relaxing. Hello, comic fans. How are you doing, sir? Thank you very much for joining. Sit back, enjoy, because we're in for a bit of a mischievous show tonight, and we have. Now, this is very important because he's got something that's going to feature in the show later. It's Mr. Butler. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Mr. Butler. We are very much looking forward to your little something that you've got planned for us later on. But thank you very much. So anyway, this is obviously the Killer Comic Show every Thursday night. It's myself, Geeky Comics. We've got Andy from Perpetual Comics. We've got everyone's favourite attention-seeking geek, the one, the only, the god of mischief. It is Loki himself. Now, you're all probably thinking that he died in Avengers Infinity War. Oh, no. He's back for one night only to talk about his fantastic
he went away,
show.
Put on a bit of weight.
He did.
Things didn't go his way for a while in life, and here we go.
He did. But
right, before we start, we have a birthday in the house today.
Yes, we do. It is the one, the only. It's Mr. Perpetual. Happy birthday, sir. Happy birthday to you.
Day to you. Come on, everyone. Everybody. Type it.
Happy birthday to you.
Type as we sing.
Happy birthday, dear Perpetual.
Perpetual Comics, as you're known on the internet. Happy birthday to
you. There we go, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Now, the thing is, that might have been a bit of a low-key celebration because, as always, Mr. Perpetual was impromptu and he didn't tell us about his birthday. He just decided to do probably the most impromptu live stream that he did. And he didn't even tell us about it, so we weren't even there to support. So, thanks for that.
Sorry. Thank you, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, I was literally the impromptu was impromptu because my work let me log off early, and I had 10 minutes to spare, which turned into 20 minutes, which turned into 25 minutes. So if you do want to catch that video after we're finished, you can head over to my YouTube channel if you want.
That way, do it. But while we've got Loki in the chat, there's going to be probably a few spoilers tonight because obviously the show came out last night. It was fantastic. We're just going to jump straight into it and we're going to review it. I think this is the first time we've reviewed a TV show on the Killer Comics, which is very interesting. So I'm very much looking forward to this.
Yeah. This can either go one or two ways, guys. One or two ways. It can either go really, really well, or it can go fantastically well. That's the only two ways.
There's only two ways. So, Ben, would you like to get us started, mate? Mr. Marvel himself.
You know, so it's all worthwhile sweating my tits off in this. Right. This first episode has blown me away. I like refresh at 8 a.m. on Disney Plus, ready to watch it ASAP. Obviously, I'm working as well. I watched it twice in one day. I have not done that for any of the WandaVision episodes, any of the Captain America episodes. I'm going to say that because it's shorter than the actual title. I just think it was gorgeous looking. Like, firstly, like I feel like the art direction for this is just like they really had a clear kind of like, you know, direction with it, literally, with the oranges and the sort of brown and that kind of haze to it. I just thought it was gorgeous. The cast were amazing. Did anyone else feel like Owen Wilson, this is one of his most like underplayed natural performances today?
I thought it was great. I couldn't work out if his nose had been purposely bent like that. I mean, obviously he's got a crooked nose as it is, but was it even more deformed?
No, that's just his face.
Okay.
Poor man.
Okay.
I hate, Owen, if you're watching, Charlie is being really insensitive. I'm sorry. Yeah, but he's usually very over the top, isn't he? Like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
And I just felt like he just played it perfectly. And his kind of back and forth with Tom. I mean, Tom Hiddleston showed like the most ridiculous range in one episode that I think I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. Like, I think Liz showed an amazing range. Showed an amazing range in WandaVision, but it was throughout the whole season. In this one episode, like Tom Hiddleston covers like every kind of emotion possible, and I just thought he was amazing. I love, I think her name is Wunmi Masaku, who plays B-15, who's like the head guard. She was amazing. I loved Casey, who was played by Eugene Cordero. I just kind of loved that like 60s, 50s vibe mixed with like ultra kind of futuristic and you know, amazing technology. And you know, as a MCU fan, it's like this is big time. Like this, the repercussions of what's going to happen in this show, I think, are going to be felt for years and years to come. So it really feels kind of important as a fan to be watching this and like a hawk. And we will come to Easter eggs shortly, but guys, I need to know what you think of the show, not this outfit.
I mean, I've got to say, as Luke said, the old school MCU Loki is, I think, what everyone secretly loves about like Loki. And when he showed up in the Avengers film, obviously when he's in the first Avengers film with the attack on New York with the Chitauri and stuff like that, that's kind of what I was hoping it would go back to. And when it started with that whole plan out, oh my God, I was blown away. It was like I was watching the film again for the first time. But what I really liked about it, I will get on, I'm just going to pop out an Easter egg right now, is that we got a new look at Loki holding the Tesseract. If you look
in the lift where he's like that.
Yeah. And I thought that was great.
Yeah.
It was just them subtle little things of him. And I just think Tom Hiddleston, for me, is the only guy that could ever play Loki. I think if it was ever recast, it wouldn't work. It's just the whole look and everything of him just works fantastically throughout the whole film he's been in and everything. I think it's going to be great. And the
question is, Charlie, is he going to be the only one to play him?
Well, this is it. This is it. I mean, his on-screen presence is superb. As first episodes go, I was more intrigued with this than I was with WandaVision. And WandaVision, the hype was insane. The hype was massive for WandaVision. And for this, it kind of went under the radar a bit. It didn't seem to be as in your face as it was with WandaVision, but yeah, it was wicked. It was everything I was expecting and more.
I absolutely concur. It was everything that I wanted it to be, everything I expected it to be. I think there was a fair amount of hype about this, but I think this is going to give us, I think it's 6 episodes? Is it 6 episodes? This is going to be 6 episodes that is going to shape the MCU for what we will know it to be like. So this is going to lead into the multiverse of madness for Doctor Strange. It's going to tell us more about the Darkhold. It's going to lead us into the creation of vampires. It's going to lead us back into Blade, and it's literally all going to tie up and go full circle. And I can't wait. I was watching it, looking for Easter eggs, looking for little subtle things. I got to the point where I was watching it on Wednesday morning, and I was doing freeze frames to do close-ups of some of the items that were on like the table and stuff like that, and it was everything I wanted it to be.
Well, it's funny you say that, Andy. What we're going to play now is a game of
I like games.
Easter egg hunting. I didn't come up with a name for the game. We're basically we are going to go in turn and reel off the Easter eggs that we've spotted or know about or whatever until we dry up. So strap in, guys, because this might go on for a few hours. So I'm going to kick things off with, it's not really an Easter egg, but it's just a kind of cool thing for us nerds to know. Now, the voice of Miss Minutes in that amazing kind of Flintstone style infomercial, when he's taking his ticket, the voice of Miss Minutes is Tara Strong, who us geeks will or should know as the voice of Harlequin in, Batman animated series and various other things. So that is my first Easter egg. Charlie, go.
So the chewing gum that the little boy, when they time travel and they find him and he's eating, his mouth is all blue. Now, obviously, that is a little trick left by Loki to give him a blue lips and stuff. But did you notice that the face on the chewing gum of Kablooey, it looks like the character Nightmare that is throughout Marvel Universe and stuff. So maybe that's going to tie into Doctor Strange. Who knows?
Indeed.
Andy.
Well, and I'm just going to tie into that Easter egg as well. The line where he says about the Nightmare Department, and he says, "Oh yeah, I'd like you to burn them down" or whatever. So maybe this could be, and we don't know yet the character that Richard E. Grant is playing. So one of my theories is Nightmare now, and my other theory is that he's going to play like an old King Loki. Like the old version of Loki. I think we'll get at least 3 Lokis in this series, if not more.
Do you reckon?
And if it's more than 3, I think the obvious ones are like female Loki and kid Loki. But after that, you could have like a King Loki, which is like an older man sort of thing. But sorry, Andy, it's your egg to drop.
My egg, so I sent this to you guys, I think, all of you in private chat. And as I mentioned earlier on, I was doing the freeze frame and looking at each of the sections. And one of the sections that I noticed in the after credits was this. So that is in the back of like a locker. And I think that's Kang.
Ooh.
I spotted that poster as well in the actual show. That poster appears, I think it's the hallway scene where Casey is explaining to the guard that he got threatened to be turned into a fish or whatever. I don't know on that one,
I'm throwing it out there. And I think the person at the end, spoilers, is female Loki, 100%.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that theory, to be honest. I think it obviously can't be Kid Loki, can it? And I think the female Loki is the natural kind of first choice. So, yeah, I'm with you on that. Right,
Loki.
My next one is maybe a bit of a stretch, but do we reckon the cat, as he enters the TVA processing, that cat's a Flurkin? Surely.
100%.
Oh, it has to be. It has to be. That's the only reason it's there. It's just, that's it. That's it.
Yeah. And I tell you what, did you spot the other Captain Marvel sort of esque Easter egg around that time? Did you see that? You know what I'm talking about? So I'm going to drop another one. I'm going to go for a double, guys.
Go for
double Easter egg.
A double Easter egg drop. Go for it.
I've got a mischief. I'm making the rules tonight. There's a scroll being processed.
Yes, I see that. Yeah, he's standing and he's processing. Yeah.
So that's
Right, I'm going to drop mine. So you know when Loki is in like the cinema room and he's watching everything played back, and you know when it comes to the end where the tape's running out, as the tape, if you stop it and you zoom in and the tape stops, it says on the reel Earth 616. Now obviously that is the main Marvel universe. It's the standard Marvel universe. Every multiverse has a different name, but yeah, that is the timeline of where all the films are taking place at Earth 616. Ooh,
that's a good one. That one. No.
I've got a good one for you guys that you might have not noticed. So when Miss Minutes was up on the TV screen, you know, the little thing, and they were showing the animated sort of this is all about Nexus and all that good stuff. So when it showed you the battle of the little figures, those are Nova Corps, I believe, which will tie in to what I think will be a Man Called Nova movie, and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Did you see some of them were blue as well? And do you think it's the Kree potentially?
So so I think because Ronan actually talks about the battle of the War for 1,000 Years, and that was between the Nova Corps and the Kree. And I think what we seen in that little animated scene was effectively that.
Okay. Now there's one that's popped up online that I'm a little bit dubious of again. People are saying that they can see Peggy.
Yes,
Peggy
Agent
Carter.
Peggy Carter. Yeah, I've seen that.
What?
Yeah, and I've tried to look, and I can't. It's as he's standing there, like one of the guards seems to be taking her away.
Yeah. The problem is, it's set like the kind of style of the TVA is like 40s, 50s sort of, which is obviously Peggy Carter's sort of era. So it could just be a woman who has curled her brown hair, and kind of looks a bit like her, but. Potentially, because we're going to get a different version of Peggy, aren't we, in this What If series? So I'm going to drop one more because I am drying up now.
Ben, you could go all night.
Stan Lee.
Pause.
On the wall, potentially, as he is in the courtroom, I think it is. There's kind of banners on the wall, and they have various figures of the TVA in a kind of cartoon, simplistic design. And one of them, it looks like Stan Lee. And I think these shows have said that they're going to put Stan Lee in things, but in a obviously very kind of sophisticated, wink, wink, nudge kind of way. So, yeah, I think you can see Stan Lee.
50 Stans in the mural. There we go.
There you go. That's the one.
Nice.
Yeah. And which could be very cool, because that could then pose the question of every Stan that we've seen being Stan who works for the TVA.
Yeah.
And the same Stan who's sat with the Watchers, the same Stan. Yeah, like every Stan we've seen.
Yeah.
Boom. And I'm just going to debunk one before you even try to go there, guys.
Uh-oh.
That's not bloody Mephisto, okay?
I was literally just about to say that. Mr. Hydra Collectibles dropped that this morning, and it's not him. It can't be him. It's not.
They've actually come out. I think the director of that first episode has actually come out and said, "Look, it's a coincidence. Like the whole devil thing was, if Loki's wearing these horns back in the day, and that's all they would know." Horns to be associated with is Satan and stuff. So I think that's what it's a nod to. But if it is them taking the piss out of us, very funny. Well done, bravo.
So I've got two. So
double.
It's a double drop.
Oh, it's a double leg.
There's absolutely no rules. There's no rules in the show.
Poor chicken, 2 eggs squeezed out in one.
So the first one is, when they open up the drawer and it's full of Infinity Stones, I thought there was a small gem or something in there that kind of looked like one of the first ever arc reactors. And obviously there was like a little badge. It looked like a Soviet Union badge or a German badge or something like that. I want to know what that's for. I mean, in a drawer full of Infinity Stones that don't work, there's possibly an arc reactor in there and one of them little badges. I kind of want to find out more about that. So I'm going to definitely look into that, because they kind of focused on that. That was one of the most focused on pause frames of the episode. It kind of just stood there, and you see Loki looking at it, and he's kind of thinking, well, oh my god, the art reactor's in there. Like, what's in there? It's got to mean something. So I'm going to have a look into that and find out what else. And then my second one is, when he falls out of the sky and lands in the sand. That's a callback to Iron Man.
Yeah,
that was just it was just the subtle things like that I just thought was wicked. It's just awesome.
Love it. Like,
So
you guys
cool.
have done double Easter eggs. I'm going to end it with a double Easter egg, okay?
Go for it.
Number one, the greatest thing about this episode is their explanation of the Nexus and the multiverse madness.
Yeah.
That was sublime. It was beautiful, and that is going to be the foundation of absolutely everything going forward. If you want a great, it's kind of a Easter egg and potential what's going to happen after this show, go check out Ultra Maximus's channel, because he dropped some knowledge today with regards to the Nexus and what he thinks it will. And I'm not going to spoil it, and I'm not going to take credit for this. So go and sub up him and go watch it. But my second Easter egg. So there's 5 Infinity Stones, yeah? You've got the Mind Stone. You've got, what is it? Come on, help me here. Mind Stone, Reality Stone.
Reality Stone.
The Cadbury Stone, that's the purple one.
You've got the Power Stone.
Mind, Power, Reality.
Yeah. Time.
Okay,
and one other one. Yeah. So I think, see, each of these shows, now I read this on Twitter and I thought it was really good. Each of these shows
that
we're watching represent to an Infinity Stone. So we've had WandaVision, which is your Reality Stone. We've got this show, which is your time.
Yeah.
We're going to have Hulk, which is your Power Stone.
Power Stone. Yeah.
We're going to have the likes of Hawkeye. We're going to have whatever other shows that's coming up that I can't remember right now. But I think what we'll find is that all these shows will represent each one of the Infinity Stones.
Mind, reality. So Wesley's just put mind, reality, time, power, soul, and space. Space.
Yep. So space is going to be your Guardians of the Galaxy, or it's going to be your Skrull movie that'll eventually come up. But
so we've obviously got mind, which is Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reality is
WandaVision.
Time is obviously Loki. Power will be Hulk. Soul.
That could be Hawkeye, maybe.
Hawkeye could be Soul. Yeah.
And then space is obviously Guardians of the Galaxy, which will be great.
Nice. And then Seth Wilson's just on the side, like, guys. What
But I mean, go on.
I was just going to say, let's put this out there on the internet now. 10 years at least. Well, let's go 5 years time. I reckon Secret Wars, and this is the start of it all.
There's references there, 100%.
Yeah, like I think we will get a film where there are 3 different versions of characters fighting each other, and I am okay with that.
Do you know what I want to know is, like, so when he's waiting for his ticket, and there's a big thing about, I think it was in a Harrison Ford film, where everyone's like, have you got your ticket? And everyone's like waving their tickets in their hands and stuff. I thought that was quite cool, because there's the panic about they're going through something and they haven't told their ticket. Who is the guy that is in front of him? Is he's got the similar traits to Loki. He kind of looks like Loki, just a small.
Well, he was just a generic shithead that had been doing things with time that he shouldn't have been doing. Maybe.
Was he not the guy that was in Age of Ultron? I'm almost positive he might have been in Age of Ultron, but
I recognised him from somewhere. I reckon if anyone in the chat knows who that guy is, let us know, because I was watching it and thinking, I recognise this guy. He's been in something before, and he kind of. He did this...
I can't remember. I just recognised his face. I'm googling as we speak.
I'm just going to go through the chat and find out if anyone else has got.
Can I just say the chat is absolutely buzzing tonight? So fair play, and thank you to everybody.
Massive shout out to everyone. I mean, they've got the big thing that people were asking is DB Cooper. So obviously, you've got.
Oh my god! What a rabbit hole that sent me down! Can I just say? So I roughly sort of had heard of. I think when the trailer came out and it came out. Oh, look, they're going to have a scene where Loki is DB Cooper, and I was like, what? This DB Cooper thing. Anyway, I didn't didn't think anything more of it. But then after this episode, I was like, no, I'm going to find out who DB Cooper is. And I have since watched about 20 episodes of BuzzFeed's Unsolved series on YouTube. It's been a big rabbit hole for me. And yeah, the DB Cooper thing was amazing because when you watch then Loki back, like he literally says the exact thing that like DB Cooper sort of says with the note and all of that stuff. So yeah.
And so for Triple G, Wesley's comments has kindly put in, is DB Cooper a guy who hijacked a plane and ransomed for 2.5 million and was never found?
Amazing story. It was mad.
That was great.
Probably died. Like he probably died when he jumped out of the plane. But
it's an American mystery that's never been solved. There we go. And then Luke is that infomercial reminded me so much of Mr. DNA from Jurassic Park. Very much so. Very much so. And here we go, Fuzzy Dunlop. He robbed a bank and escaped by plane in the US in the 60s, was also a character in Prison Break. Oh. So there's so many, so there's so much tying into it.
It's more random that someone watched Prison Break.
Yeah. And there we go. Look, the Padawan Collector. Thanks for joining us, Mephisto. We've just said that. It can't be Mephisto. It can't be. If you want to find out, sorry, Andy, I keep cutting you off.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
If you just want to have a quick look into that, Hydra Collectibles posted on Instagram today, and he kind of debunks it. There's a few things going around, but us three here definitely don't think that's Mephisto, and it can't be. They're not dropping it that early. It's not going to happen. Andy, my sincere apologies. I cut you off, mate.
Come on the show, it's your birthday, keeps cutting you off. It's just you can't, honestly. No, I'm not joking. Are we going to do this every week?
Well, if there's, I don't see why we shouldn't. I mean,
is Benjamin going to sweat his tits off in that suit every single week, or are we going for different characters every week?
This every week, but I am not doing this.
Let's ask people. Let's ask. I mean, this is a community-based show, so let's ask the people in the chat if you do want to see this show every week. Smash the thumbs up, put a yes in the comments, and we will keep going because obviously there's 6 episodes. There's going to be so much going on, and we are really enjoying this. Like it's literally we've been doing it for a half hour now. It's wicked. Like it's going to be one of the best Marvel shows I think that's going to be streamed. So we will keep doing it. And you will be there with us to go through it as well.
I'm going to dress as Miss Minutes next week and be like, "Hey guys, I'm Miss Minutes." Yeah, that's next week, exclusive.
Go for it.
You just, 3 thumbs down.
But here we go. So let's have a look what we've got here. So copy 801, possibly Red Skull will be in there if there's a German badge. So obviously he's going back to when they open up the joint Infinity Stones. That could be. But does he's still going by the name as Red Skull during this time period, isn't he? Obviously, one of the biggest.
Don't really know in between what the hell happened in between, like Red Skull, being Red Skull and then kind of becoming a floaty man.
Floaty man on a mountain. Floaty mountain man.
Floaty mountain boy.
But obviously, one of the biggest, well, it's not really an Easter egg, is it? They keep talking about the timeline and the multi-timelines, and obviously the flashback that you keep seeing in your head is when Bruce Banner gets the shit punched out of him on top of the rooftop by the Ancient One, and Luke has basically seen that. He said, given what we've seen from the Ancient One regarding Infinity Stones being removed from the universe, I shudder to think that those timelines are now like. It must be. There's got to be something going on, and I really like.
What If series is going to be, isn't it? I think that What If series is going to explore, kind of, what happens if things do go differently. I can't wait for that series. It's mad that we haven't had a trailer yet as well, and it comes out in August, I think. So I think this series, the last episode of the series, will give us the trailer for that.
I've got one quick thing I noticed. I was watching the trailer again today, and this is the one that came out 2 months ago from Marvel. And at the end of the trailer, it says Loki streaming from June the 11th.
Yeah, they moved it forward, didn't they?
Oh, so there was me thinking, look, they're playing that
because they did the whole nothing's as it seems with Loki. Yeah. Wednesdays are the new Fridays.
Yeah, I thought of it. That was pretty cool. I did quite like that one.
I think everybody agrees by the looks of things that we can maybe start off the next sort of few shows by doing a little Loki review and rundown. I thought it was interesting. One, I think Fuzzy said there are 2 killer comic shows a week, surely.
Where was Fuzzy saying it?
Fuzzy said, "Yeah, you see that 2 killer." I mean,
You say that.
you know, I don't know if we could, we don't want to do too much, but what I can say, guys, is what we do have coming up, and this is a little bit of an exclusive. I can't remember if we've mentioned this before, but we are planning on doing a once a month killer comic show after dark. And when I say after dark, I'm talking late night into the early morning.
Debauchery, mischief.
Absolutely. Everything goes. We're looking for ideas for skits that we can do, for things that we can talk about. It's going to be interesting, and there might even be a little bit of a lock-in for when we effectively go dark. So everybody then is invited to come and join us and have a chat, talk comics, and have some fun. So look out for that. That's going to be sometime at the end of the month. Maybe not this month, maybe next month. I don't know, but we're planning it, and it's going to be exciting.
There was always going to be one, wasn't there? After Dark, Spine Ticks Length. Now, let's be honest. What Sif and the guys over at Spine Ticks do is fucking incredible. It's sensational. Them guys are the nicest guys, some of the nicest guys on YouTube, on the chat. They're always interacting with everyone. So massive shout out to them. I wouldn't say we're at that level yet, but there's no one else doing it in the UK.
We're never going to be at that level. I'm never doing a stream for 8 hours because I'm not mentally ill.
But there's no one else. There's no one else in the UK that's doing it at the moment. So which is why us 4 misfits are going to come together. It's going to be you'll be able to come and go. We'll be doing stuff, and it's probably going to be we're working out on the hours and stuff, but it will be a good one.
But we can only do it after we get to 600 subscribers. So we will only do our first one once we get to 600 subscribers. So if you can pass it to your friends, your family, those who don't even like YouTube, just get us to that 600, and then we'll throw it that first show, and I can guarantee it's going to be worth it. So,
and this show will not just be comics, guys. It will be movies. It will be TV shows. It will be gaming. It will be wrestling. Anything goes in the
Wait, what? We didn't agree wrestling. We didn't agree wrestling.
Well,
we said
okay.
I'm out.
But I mean, look. There's calls for 2 killer comic shows a week. Maybe as we get further on, maybe we're going to do that. But it's definitely going to be killer comic show at 9 o'clock every Thursday, as we've been doing for the past nearly 16 months, as it were. And then obviously once a month we're going to do killer comics after dark. If it picks up and there's a call for it, then it might be more than once a month. But at the moment we're going to start out. We're going to test the waters. It's probably going to be a 4 or 5 hour stream to begin with.
You don't want to go over the top too much and dilute ourselves and go from killer to GBH. Like, we don't want to do that.
But we have said there are big things coming from us 4 here over at Killer Comic Show. So it's going to be, and we're very much looking forward to having all of you in the chat and your friends along for the ride. So yeah, it's going to be wicked. But that's enough about us. That's enough about us. Just
comics.
Let's talk about. Is there any more people in the chat here? Look, what night you thinking of the After Dark show? Saturday.
What night are you busy?
Yeah, look, or do skits like the Angry Scotsman. We could do.
It's going to be a Saturday. Just to answer your question, it's going to be a Saturday evening, and we'll make sure that we finish before the likes of Spine Ticks. Obviously, that's what we'll gently ease you in to the Spine Ticks madness.
Yeah, we'll ease you in. We're like the lube for the Spine Ticks show. But I mean, look, copy 801 is in. You can only be in if you bring your cat Grey. All right, and I want to see more air conditioning units being ripped off the walls because it's after dark. So that's the way that it's got to go down. That is the way it's got to go down. But that's just a little taste of what we've got things to come. But that's enough about Loki. We're gonna do this every single week when Loki's on. I'm not sure how many costumes Ben's got that he can get through. I wouldn't mind seeing him as Peggy Carter. I wouldn't mind seeing him as Peggy Carter or Flirkin. Can I get a season ticket to join every late night show with you guys on screen? Why not? you can come on. It's going to be an open ticket. You can come and you can stay for as long as you like. Why not? More karaoke.
Don't open your mouth when you come on the stream, Luke. That's all. You know, we want to keep people.
There might be a karaoke section with copy. Why not? That might be one of the things. Karaoke. Why not? See, if you guys want to drop something in the chat now, or you want to message us for over on Instagram and just send us what you'd like to see from the Killer Comics Goes Dark, we can work something out. We're always busy on the show and doing other stuff along with like work and stuff like that. But yeah, drop it in and let us know. Sounds fab. There we go. Join in, my dude, at Fuzzy Dunlop. There we go. We had a little sing song at the end of Copy Show last week, which was great.
Singing was a bit of a stretch.
Singing, yeah, it was a bit.
60 seconds of my life.
It was. But yeah,
as he sits with a Loki outfit
right
on.
Now,
Ben, you are free to take that off, or you can keep it on if you want. It's totally up to you. I know you're probably sweating a bit through there, but
there's a fly. Mephisto confirmed.
Get off.
But now we are talking about comics. ABZ has said, I kid you not, guys, I just got an order confirmation of my issue number 1, cover B, being shipped from Forbidden Planet today. I ordered it at the end of December and never went for a credit note. That's commitment, mate. That is commitment. I did query them a couple of months ago, though. That is...
Just like that on Lex Luthor.
And there he is. He has gone from Loki to Lex Luthor. And this is the quality you get on this show. This is it. This is what you get. This is what you get.
And now I'm a waiter.
And now you're a waiter. And now we shall do comics.
Player.
And now we shall do comics. So, and now, yeah, he's a snooker player. Jimmy White. There we go. So the Killer Comic Show, week 23 review. Now, first up, we have, what have we got first? We have got, there we go. We've got, oh, hold on. I'm a bit too fast here.
That's what she said.
I can't get it up. How do I go back? Right, there we go. We've got Bunny Mask Aftershock, issue number 1. This is written by Paul Tobin, art by Andrea Muti. It's available in shops from June the 9th, 2021. There was 8 covers out for this, Andy. We had main cover, Andrea Muti, cover B by Andrea Muti, which was the Bunny Mask cut out. We had the Brian Silverback variant. We had the 1 in 15 Charlie Adlard incentive. Everyone knows him from The Walking Dead. Adlard. Everyone knows him from The Walking Dead. We've got the Ben Harvey variant, and we had the Matt Dalton variant as well. Now, this was your pick of the weekend, wasn't it? It was very much hyped. It was in your indie pick a few weeks ago. So we was all very much looking forward to this. Would you like to give us a breakdown?
I feel as if I need to start off with an apology, everybody.
100%. That's the first thing.
That's the first thing you should do.
Listen, guys, they refer to me as the Oracle, which I don't agree with. I'm not the Oracle. Sometimes I get it right. Sometimes I get it wrong. I was very much looking forward to Bunny Mask. There was a lot of hype about it. The covers looked absolutely fantastic. That Ben Harvey variant is superb. And it was intriguing. It intrigued me to see what this was all about. And I was very much looking forward to it. Then I started reading it. And I'm so disappointed. I don't have a lot to say about the book.
Before you do, let me just show you 3 more covers that we've got. We had the Nathan Scherzi variant. We had the Ingrid Bauer variant
superb. Yes,
and
please.
the variant B as well. And what we've also got as well, I did forget to mention, we have our QR codes there. So feel free to scan that, and that will take you to our YouTube channels, and you can subscribe to that, and you can get more fantastic impromptu perpetual videos. You can get the attention seeking geek. Now he's gone to a bouncer standing outside Weatherspoons. This is the content that you can get and enjoy. So sorry to interrupt you, Andy, but yeah, just go for it. Fuzzy Dunlop has literally, yes, look, copy 801, he dodged a bullet with this one, but Fuzzy Dunlop, he fell foul. I've just ordered it.
I ordered it as well. I ordered cover A and ordered cover B, and I was so looking forward to it. There is no spoilers that I can give for this particular book because the story was so far-fetched and so crazy. And I'm a guy from the East End of Glasgow, so I've seen crazy on a weekend. This was leaps and bounds beyond, and I've actually worn that mask, funnily enough, in those weekends, but that's another show. That's for After Dark. But honestly, guys, this was madness personified. This was, it was crazy. It was. I can only sum it up by saying that I dropped it from my pull list. I haven't read the first issue, and I very rarely do that.
Yeah, you do.
And I
You
don't
really
think
do.
I'm going to read issue 2. I'm sorry to the writer, I'm sorry to the artist, and I'm sorry to Aftershock, because Aftershock have been absolutely killing it. But sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And for me, this didn't. And I'm sorry, this was a hard pass for me.
Definitely a binner. Now, I've got to say, I read the previews of this, and the previews were pretty snidey, to be fair, because they put the front cover and then they put 4 or 5 different pages, but they didn't have the words in it. So sometimes they'll do that, and sometimes they'll do it with the words in case they're changing like the page layout and whatever. I read the first couple of pages and I was like, okay, right, I can see where this is going, and it opens up, and there's going to be spoilers on this comic because I really don't want anyone in the chat reading this, because don't waste 32 pages of your comic reading on this, especially for week 23. Don't bother. If you're I don't know, if you're stuck somewhere and you're really, really bored, still don't read this, because the opening page, I was like, what the is going on here, man? There's a girl in the kitchen with her dad, and he's got a chisel, and he's like, well, you know, are you ready? And he just starts hacking away, and I was just like, okay, right, this is what we're set up for. I'm just going to read it. This jumped around, as Andy said in a private message, this jumped around more than Batman Catwoman does. This was, I didn't have a clue what was going on. The timeline was all over the place. The artwork for me just didn't work. The story, the text, it was a hideous read.
And it wasn't scary. It was the premise was, and the covers all allude to it being a really scary book that is going to be an interesting concept and interesting read. But it wasn't. It was just madness. It was craziness, and it just, for me, it failed on every single level. And I'm just so disappointed because I was so looking forward to this book.
Like we're normally pumped up and ready to go about every comic. I mean, even with King in Black, we gave it the benefit of the doubt. And we read like all the 6 issues of it, and it was okay. But this one, I couldn't. No, I'm not even going to bother with issue 2. And it's a real shock. Excuse the pun. It's a real aftershock, because it just didn't do it. I didn't enjoy it at all. And normally we'll give comics the benefit of the doubt on this show, and we're kind of like, we like everything, and we'll give it a read and stuff. This didn't. I was gutted with it. Ben?
Well, I just find it hilarious that you're telling people not to buy it when literally last week you were telling people to pick it up. These poor people. I watched Nick the Comic Nerd on his new comic book day, and he's like, oh, I've got Bunny Mask. Thanks. Big shout out to Andy.
He did as well. No, he thanked Charlie. It was Charlie. He blamed Charlie for it.
Oh, okay, it's Charlie. It's your fault.
I think he enjoyed it though. I think he actually enjoyed the book. I'm not 100% sure.
It was awful. It was the artwork was like lazy and unfinished. I knew this would be rubbish. Can I just say, like when you like shouted it out last week, and I just sort of saw this like it looks like someone at the end of a night out, and she's been dressed up as Ariana Grande for her friend's 30th. Like it never looked kind of creepy to me or intriguing. There's actually a wrestler called the Bunny as well in AEW who kind of has the same gimmick. So gimmick infringement if you're watching. But if you are watching, why did you make this book? It's the problem is that opening, you know, with the whole child abuse thing, really could be really dramatic and really kind of impactful, but it wasn't. It was terribly written. It was disjointed. The kind of reveal.
Don't hold back.
The reveal was kind of really quite crap. Mm-hmm. Like this felt like it played out like one of those films that you would get on the horror channel at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was hard pass, spinner. Yeah.
Just want to give a big shout out to Wakey Box. I know him and his missus, they've gone out for dinner and stuff tonight, but I mean, he's managed to, is he snuck in the toilet for 15 minutes to come and see us free?
He's probably went for a
moan about this.
A bit to wash his hands and
but
sneaky text.
If you thought this comic couldn't get any worse, look at these 3 covers. Where are they? Let's go. Where are they? Look at these ones. Where are they? There we go. Look at these. Look, Zoe Leche with a variant. We've got Andrea Muti still variant A and a Chin Potter variant A as well. I mean, this comic is nothing like it is on the covers. It like some of these covers, especially for me. Where is it? This one. These covers here, especially this Nathan Shirty one.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
If the comic was anything like that, it'd probably be a good read.
The mask is not scary. Like that that just looks like something you would pick up in a bondage shop on the M25. Like it's not. Like the thing is, it feels very much like a forced attempt at iconography. Do you know what I mean? Like a forced attempt at trying to create an image that stands out as much as Jason or Michael or whoever. For me, like, have you seen that Pet Sematary film, the recent one? And all the kids are wearing the creepy sort of paper mache mask. Like, you could have gone for something like that. I hate everything about this.
Can I just say, Fuzzy Dunlop, slide into my DM, send me your address. I'm going to send you an AOK as an open apology for making you buy this book or influencing you buying this book. So slide into my DMs.
I thought you were going to send him the book. I was like, that's not an act of kindness. That's an act of cruelty.
That's an AOW. That's an act of wickedness.
I was going to say, was it cover A that you got? Because I can send you cover B.
So yeah. Anyway, this is a good way to start the show, isn't it? I'm glad we did the Loki first because I said it. It hasn't been the best week for comics. Let's be honest. And I think it is. Boys. And we are just getting started. And the Grey Man said, "The bunny installs fear in the hearts of men. I must become a rabbit for justice. We shall call you Thumper of the law." What an offer! There we go. That is what an offer that is. That's what we do here. If we upset anyone, we send them gifts. But yeah, that was Bunny Mask. Absolute pile of shit. Just going to say it because it was
little pellets, pile of pellets.
Absolute pile of pellets, absolute pile of rabbit pellets. Check it out if you want. If not, there's other ways and means to read this comic. But up next we have DC Pride. Now this was Ben's pick of the week. This is DC Pride. It was written by various artists. The art is done by various artists. It's available in the shops June the 9th. It was actually available. DC come out a day before, so it was available in the shops on June the 8th. And then we've got Ben's QR code there, so give that a scan if you want to see fun things on Instagram and YouTube. But we have DC Pride. It was done. Third main cover was done by Williamson and Bonneville, and the second cover, the best thing for me, is the fact that it is Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy having a little smooch, and it's by Jen Bartel, who's absolutely fantastic at the moment. But Ben, what did you think about this, mate?
Yeah, it's Pride Month. It's a month to obviously bring awareness, kind of education, and also a chance for people to really kind of celebrate who they are. So I'm a big kind of. I hate saying it. I think it sounds naff, but I guess I'm a big ally for that. There's a really nice intro by Mark and Draco, who is a bit of a figurehead, I think, within the sort of LGBTQ plus and kind of comic book world. He spearheaded a charity campaign, I believe, called Love is Love, which was following the Pulse nightclub massacre back in 2016. So it's a really, really nice write-up. I know that when we read Women of Marvel,
my favourite
which again is it's a book that kind of celebrates diversity and things like that. The intro, to that, I know rubbed a couple of you guys up the wrong way in the way that it was delivered, and I hope that Mark's didn't, because I felt like it was really well written. It highlights some really cool things like with Stonewall and Marsha P. Johnson, which if no one knows the stories about that, then please look into that because it's really important. The Pride profiles were quite nice at the end of this with the DC TV characters and things. The thing is, I kind of knew picking this that it was never going to be amazing because it's one of those books that is a number of different stories. And I kind of publicly moaned on here before about short story compilation books because you can never kind of have enough time to develop the story or get into it or get a feel for the artwork. And this was the same. You know, I struggled, to be fair, with most of the stories. My favourite story was the final story, which was by Andrew Wheeler and Luciana Vecchio, where you have Eclipso crashes.
Is that Love Life or is that Date Night? Is that Love Life? Was it Love Life?
Love Life, yeah, the last one. Yeah. So, yeah, Eclipso crashes Pride, and you have Aqualad kind of been the front runner to face him. And then in the end, it turns out that, you know, all of these characters that have kind of appeared in other stories in the book are there at Pride to kind of save the day. And just gorgeous artwork, really kind of fun story as well. So I enjoyed that. They did some really cool pin-ups as well in this book. So if you're a fan of just kind of artwork for the sake of artwork, there's some really lovely pin-ups here. And my favourite was the Sophie Campbell, Harlequin and Ivy pin-up piece in there. So yeah, it's a compilation book. It's as good as it is going to be, I think, for a compilation book. But I think it's a really important book. And I kind of, well done DC for sort of doing it and bringing these characters to the forefront, really, where they deserve to be.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, like, not every story in this comic is perfect. Like they're okay to read and stuff, and obviously shout outs to DC for touching on like the DC Pride and stuff for the LGBTQ and stuff, everything like that. That's really good. But not every story is perfect in this, and I kind of, other than the first story, which was I think it was Batwoman Through the Looking Glass or something, the wrong side of the looking glass.
That I enjoyed that actually.
I really enjoyed that because I've been watching the Batwoman TV show, so I kind of enjoyed some of the similarities there, and I liked it. I think it's in Guy again. The artwork on that, I thought that was really good. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, because again, it's that will they, won't they kind of thing. I enjoyed it. I think overall,
the artwork was terrible in that.
Now this is what I don't get now, because I'm reading the new Harley Quinn run. Like I'm 4 issues in, and I'm a big Amanda Conner fan. Like I kind of like what she did with Harley Quinn, but I'm massive fan of, I think we all know what Katana Collins did with Batman, White Knight, Harley Quinn and stuff. So they're two of the Harley Quinns that are setting the pedestal where it should be. In the Harley Quinn run that's out now and the artwork in this, it's like DC have given up all hope on one of their most female recognizable leads, as it were. And you're kind of like, why would you be doing that? You've got Harley Quinn, you've got Poison Ivy, and you're doing artwork like that. It's terrible. And that's for me, that's what let the story down. That's kind of...
Andy, your thoughts? I know you love a compilation book and you love a DC superhero book.
I do, Ben. Yeah. So for me, just to echo what Ben was saying there, I think this is a super important subject. Hats off to DC for producing this book first and foremost. I think the most important thing is if any young adult, any older adult is sitting reading this and can find an affinity, can find that they're represented within some of these characters, can feel a connection to any of these characters, then I think that's positivity. I think that's positive. And I think if they can read this book and feel that connection, then this book has done its job. As a reader of comics, I think I got about 30 pages into it. It wasn't something that I enjoyed from a pure comic perspective of reading the stories. But I understand how important this book is. It was $9.99 as well, this book. This was a $10 book. This isn't a cheap book for any young kid.
That's too much, for a book that is important and needs to be picked up by kids, that don't feel acknowledged. Like, this book should have been reachable for them, you know, and $10.
If this book could have been like not so much an 80-page, free comic book day book.
I was literally just about to say that. If this had been a free comic book day comic,
I can just imagine as a young kid who has these feelings and wants to read something that they feel that can empower them, then I think it's really important that more people get the opportunity to read these stories. They feel that way. I think DC lost it when they outpriced themselves. I think from a purely reading perspective, I thought that the stories were pretty poor. I thought some of the artwork was great. But for me, I think it just lost it with regards to the price. But I take my absolute hat off to DC for bringing this book out. It's so important. And if only one person read it and felt a connection, then job done.
And I think that's the main thing. I think overall the comic isn't great. It's not great. But the fact that they had the interviews with the cast of the DC shows, and the fact that they're touching on the LGBTQ, everything, the whole thing. I think it's amazing. I think it's a great thing to do. I think the pricing is all totally wrong. If you're doing it for a subject like this that needs to be heard, that someone needs to relate to and stuff like that, you need to make it accessible for all ages. You really do, because there's new young readers that are looking upon Batwoman, they're looking upon Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy as their idols that they're looking up to, and they've just got to walk past that because they might not have $10 to pay for it. Do you know what I mean? So I think if this was a free comic book day comic, I think all the way. But massive kudos to DC for doing something like this, because I thought that's the only decent thing about this comic, I'd say, is the fact that they've put it out there and they've done various covers for DC from last week, this week, and going on into next week. So massive shout out to them for that. But the artwork and the stories do that.
Love is love is love.
Yes. And there we go. And then ABZ Comics is still going on. Just reset the Forbidden Planet password. And the only thing outstanding on that order is number 1, cover A by Del Rey. Status awaiting stock. Quantity 3. I thought it was December, but it was actually 13th of January. Thank you very much for that, ABZ.
Thanks, ABC. Do you want to copy and paste the emails that you did back and forth with Forbidden Planet and put them in the chat as well? Because everyone wants to see that.
Settle down, Benjamin. Settle down.
But yeah, look, Fuzzy Dunlop should have been handed out free in schools. That's actually not a bad idea, to be fair. And Triple G comments, yes, Fuzzy Dunlop, great idea, get it in school libraries. It's something like this that I could see ending up in school libraries, to be fair. So the main thing, the first comic was a triple binner. What was this one? I'm gonna say it was a killer, not because of the stories, not because of the artwork, because of the fact that they're touching on a subject that needs to be heard, it needs to be communicated, and as Andy said, if one person can make a connection with this, then this is definitely a killer all the way.
Yeah, for me, killer, absolute killer for me, for that absolute reason that DC have produced this book for all the right reasons, and people should read it to enjoy the stories. I didn't enjoy the stories for it, but I can completely appreciate and respect why this book has been produced. I just think it was $8 too much.
Yeah. Ben?
Yeah, killer. Pretty much echoing what you guys said, about the importance of the book itself.
Not so much. And Grey Man, just read Bunny Mask online. I like it. I wouldn't expect.
Can we block the Grey Man? Can we block him?
To be fair, if he's read that and multitask in terms of watching us, then that's probably the only way you can potentially enjoy a book.
The only thing I can relate this, Ben, is that Bunny Mask is, I've probably seen people like that rocking out of pubs in Croydon. So I can understand why. There's massive shout out to Hoodrat Comics, #Team Nerd Herd. Thank you for checking in, dude. Always pleasure to have brothers and sisters from across the pond. We've got Copy 801. Yo.
Big congratulations to Team Nerd Herd.
Yes, smashing 1,000 subscribers.
Smashed over 1,000 subscribers. So I would highly recommend, if you guys haven't checked those guys out and subbed them up, please go and do so. They're our American brothers over there.
Absolutely killing it, and they do some fantastic stuff. They have some fantastic guests on. They were lucky enough to get Carla Cohen on, and that was a fantastic interview. Well played to you guys for that one. That was it. And what we got up next, we've got Stake issue number 4. Now, obviously, this is stake issue number 4. We had the privilege of having David Byrne in the chat on the show with us a few weeks ago, so massive thanks to that. Now, stake number 4 is written by David Bryan. It's the artwork by Francesca Fantini. Again, it's available in shops from yesterday, which was June the 9th. There was 2 covers out for this week. We had the main cover by Francesca Fantini herself, and then we had the 1 in 10 Alan Quay Unlocked cover B. Now, if you didn't catch the promo that we released on YouTube the other day, Alan Quay will be a guest on the Killer Comics Show next Saturday at 1 p.m. BST. So if you guys are free, make sure you drop into that. He's going to be joining us for Comic Talk, talking about what he's been doing up at the moment. He's been smashing it with the Marvels covers. He's just dropped the Deadpool 30th anniversary cover for that as well. So there's major stuff happening at that. But with this comic, I have to say, I didn't enjoy it, guys. I didn't enjoy it. I mean, other than the artwork, it's kind of, for me, issues 1, 2, and 3 was great. Issue 4 now, other than the opening image and the scene, which was quite adult-esque, really, I quite liked it. There's nothing really about it other than the artwork that's fantastic by Francesca. That's consistent, but the story, for me personally, it now seems like it's gone into like a teen story where Stake is actually, she's finding herself. Now, she's a vampire killer. She's after like one of the main vampire killers and his goony herd of vampires. His name's Arshwin, and she's after him, but now she's kind of switched off, and I wanted to get back to how issue 1 was when we was all gripped by issue 1. I've kind of lost it. I was really kind of upset, to be fair.
Oh, do you want a hug?
I'd love a hug. Yeah.
Full disclosure, I didn't read this comic. Sorry, guys. Not because I didn't want to. It just slipped my mind to read it. So I'm going to pass to my colleague downstairs and let him tell you what he thought of it.
It's put in the back, isn't it? You know, like the Francesca Fantini's artwork is just superb. Like I cannot celebrate that enough. I love the use of purple in particular in this book. As always, it's kind of got black and white predominantly approach, but then there will be dashes of color, and a lot of those dashes in this edition are purple, and it just looks really gorgeous, a lot of it. I feel increasingly, especially after chatting to David on the show, that I need to go back and catch up with a lot of the Kickstarter stuff, because I feel like there's characters that are kind of popping up, and I feel like I'm expected to know who they are, and I don't. And I don't know whether they are characters that are coming back from the Kickstarter, because I know in issue 3 there was the drag queen character that I said to David straight up, and he was like, "Oh yeah, she was in the Kickstarter thing," and I was like, "Okay." So, I potentially a little bit alienating sometimes when you you weren't there, on that hype train from day one. I mean, there were, David's got a great sense of humor, and there were some funny bits in this. There was the whole Karen line, where fake flashes of hits and things like that. That was all funny, but I love a drag queen, so I couldn't get enough of that scene in the club and things. But the ending, just kind of happened, and I
very much so.
I was like, oh, right, okay, it's the end now. And I don't know, I think the first couple of issues you had those more kind of cliffhanger doof moments, which is what, if you take something like, I know you can't compare these things, but if you look at something like Something Is Killing the Children, every single issue finishes on that doof moment at the end, and it forces you to pick up the next issue. And unfortunately, this just felt a little bit more disjointed than some of the other issues, and it was a shame. I'm really behind kind of elements of this story, so I am going to pick up the next issue in the hope that some of the things I loved from the earlier issues kind of come back. And I think, Francesca's artwork is enough reason to pick this up, to be honest.
But do you know what I think? Obviously, so you're talking about the Kickstarter. So there was a Kickstarter that came out pre-stake. It's called Jezame. And it features Barnard, who is the the drag queen. So yeah, it picks up on that, and it touches in with Ashwin's story a bit as well. So if you're going into stake number 1, you kind of don't need to read that. But it's kind of weird because as you progress through the issues, as Ben said, there's characters popping up in that you're kind of like, well, where's he come from? Is he a new character? Because they're acting like they know each other and stuff. But what I found out about this comic was that we're issue 4 in, and we're only kind of now understanding a bit more about Angel. Like, we're kind of understanding her, like, why she feels so lonely, and like what she's doing now. She's kind of got her own like Luke Fox that's doing stuff for her and giving her different grades. Like, she gets an upgrade. Instead of wearing glasses now, she's got these contact lenses that they've tried out, and they haven't updated them fully because they could burn your eyes and stuff like that. But it would have been good to know about her assets in issue 1 going into it, instead of finding out in issue 3 that she's got these new implants in her eyes and she has to flash her boobs to make sure that she's getting all on board. And his face, definitely go back and read it. It's a good one.
But again, like that introduced like a whole kind of like James Bond type thing.
Yeah.
The one thing I'm feeling with this is David is introducing so many elements, like so many kind of like, oh, this is similar to that, and oh, this feels like that. And I almost want to kind of slow down a little bit and appreciate things for longer. Or kind of stick to one thing, you know. Is this a kind of vampire spy book, or is this a Lost Wind?
Right, so it's Ashwin.
I think it's just Ashwin. I don't know why you're saying Ashwin.
Ashwin, because I'm a Cockney and I can't
like,
speak.
You literally don't pronounce anything in a posh way, and yet you've gone for Ashwin. Ashwin.
But yeah, no, do you know what? Like, I think maybe I've got to read all 4 issues again, because I did like the story to begin with. That's what kind of drew me in. I like the artwork. It's fantastic by Francesca. So yeah, I do understand. I think it just needs to slow down a bit and kind of get back to where it was, and we kind of regroup from there.
Is this 4 or 5 issues? This arc?
This is 5 issues, I think. And an interesting fact is that the artwork for issue number 5 is kind of nearly there, and the story's playing catch up. Just a quick little thing for me. When I spoke to David the other day, he said like he's kind of got to buck his ideas up and get like do some stuff on the side instead of his day job, because he needs to catch up with Francesca, because she's absolutely killing it. But these covers for me, like, I would go for cover A instead of cover B, because I think cover A is just, it's amazing. It's amazing. And it is. It is. I mean, I'm going to say, for me, I'm on the fence with this one. I can't really say. I'm going to plead the 5th.
I didn't even read it, and I'm going to give it a killer just for Francesca's artwork. I promise I will read this issue along with issue number 5, and it'll be interesting to see if this is another one of those books where we've been obviously reading it individually, you know, issue by issue. Yeah. But what I did do is for issue 2 and 3, I read that together, and actually for me was.
So actually, you read them the wrong way round, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, I done 2, and then I done 2, 3, and then I messaged you guys after I'd read issue number 3 by mistake, and went, right, what's going on? Have I completely missed something here? Yeah, I'd missed issue 2. That's what I did. So, but yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see if this is like one of those stories that when you read it all together from 1 to 5 or whatever it might be, that it'll be a sum of its parts sort of thing.
But I mean, the Grey Man said, wasn't there normally another slaphead on this panel? I don't think there was.
Unbelievable! What a derogatory term.
I don't think there was another slaphead on this panel.
Rude.
No, I don't think there was. But I mean, well, he's not here. But I mean, we can.
You're right.
After that, we can look at his comic. It was Heroes Reborn, Night Gwen. We had the main cover by.
I love David. The sigh. Like you're already sighing as you're introducing this book. That's how good it's going to be.
But let's get to it. So obviously, Night Gwen is written by Vita Ayala and artwork by Farid Karami. Main cover, David Nakayama in Lee on the variant A and variant B. And we had Takeshi Miyazawa on the variant and the 1 in 10 Javier Garron with the character design variant. For me, out of all the comics we read this week, this was probably the one I enjoyed the most. And that's saying something.
That is saying something.
I kind of like the story, the whole. For me, there was really essences of Harley Quinn and Joker in Arkham Asylum, where Harley's the psychiatrist and stuff, and she's sitting there working with. I think she's working Gwen Stacy's working with Bullseye, but there was essences of Harley Quinn there. Like, I think it's a carbon copy of a DC story going on here, and I think that's why I liked it for all the wrong reasons, because I was kind of like, this is trying to be something it's not. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. It was the best of a bad bunch for me, if I'm honest.
David Nakayama's cover is superb. Good friend of the show.
Yeah.
So that's what intrigued me for this. The horrible Heroes Reborn at the bottom.
Is this another King in Black? Is this another King in Black? Horrible.
That is so disrespectful to fantastic artwork of David's.
It's not even like, at least the Venom one had some imagination to it. It's just a block orange.
Yeah. So that kind of annoyed me a little bit. This is obviously a one-shot story as well.
Yeah.
And I was really looking forward to this one. I was thinking about this as a kind of a spec play as well. So I picked up the design variant that you had on the other slide there. But for me, I just have. I think what I came to the conclusion this week is that in order for me to enjoy a Marvel or a DC story, somebody needs to recommend it to be a good story, because I don't have any affinity to any of these characters, or very few of these characters. And I'm finding it really difficult to get, so Daredevil and Immortal Hulk I enjoy those characters, and I'm really digging the story. But there's just levels to this. It seems to be there's no middle ground when it comes to the DC and Marvel storylines. It's either really, really good or really, really bad.
Yeah.
And for me, that's what pushes me away from trying things like this. And to be fair, the only reason I try it, and this is the beauty of Killer Comic Show, is because you guys will pick these books. Because if it wasn't for you guys picking them and effectively being forced to read them, then I'd be out. I'd be all out.
If you want an indication of how old Andy turns today, he just said digging. I'm digging this book, guys.
Digging.
So there's a hint of how old he is. I feel like I need to defend, my superheroes a little bit. So I read Strange Academy this week because that was a fantastic read, and it's very, very superhero, but it was brilliant. And Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters was also a superb read. So
Can I just say, Ben, before you crack on, obviously with this show, there's comics coming out that we know are going to be good reads. We know they're going to be good reads because we've been reading them. I mean, Strange Academy is on season issue 11 now, and we've been reading it. It's consistently fantastic. You've been bigging up like Bounty Hunter, Star Wars. So we know there's stories there, but we kind of just don't want to do the regular thing, sit here and say, this comic was amazing. We're 11 issues in now and stuff like that, which is why we've kind of gone for comics that we wouldn't normally read, because we're testing the water, we're trying to see if they're any good, and unfortunately this week they weren't.
And I think it's also important to say is what we won't also do is big up a book because artists or writers are in the chat, or that we will be completely honest and transparent. So sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it's not going to work. So just to call that out as well, that we're not just going to say nice things about a book just because maybe artists or writers have been on the show previously or in the chat. So
yeah.
If there's one thing you can rely on me for, it's not saying nice things and not caring. I love Jason Aaron, massive fan of Jason Aaron, and I just feel like this Heroes Reborn thing is just a massive rip-off of House of M, and it really bugs me, like, from day one. Like, it's literally the same thing. And I kind of skimmed through some of the titles just so I sort of know what's going on, but it's the same thing. So don't read this. Go and read House of M because it's a fantastic story and a lot better delivered. They've just thrown out so many titles for this, like, and released variant, pretty variant covers for things to get people to buy it. Like, it's almost like you're cheating fans. Like with this book, like, you've got these gorgeous covers that people will pick up because they are gorgeous.
Yeah.
And the story just does not hold up. Like, there is nothing original about this story. Like, I just kind of wish they just went and bloody wrote a Batgirl book or a Batman book, because that's what this book was. It didn't feel like a tribute. It didn't feel like a homage. I almost would have liked it if it took the piss a little bit, but it didn't. It just felt like a big unoriginal carbon copy of something that is better. I did like the artwork. I did think the artwork was consistently nice in this, but yeah, I zoned out completely by the end of this, and I this whole Heroes Reborn thing has just rubbed me off from day one. So go and read House of M.
It's interesting that ABZ said those design variants have been churning out this year. There's loads. You've got Russell Dalterman dropping the 1 in 50 variants for X-Men. You've got Peach Momoko dropping some as well. You've got like the likes of Javier Garron. You've got loads of them dropping it. The only ones that I'm really interested in, I don't read the X-Men books. The only ones I'm really interested in picking up is the Russell Dalterman connecting variants, because that is going to be, if you've got the 12 or 15 comics in the line, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be all the X-Men on a red carpet, and that's the only good thing about that. But having a look at this, it still doesn't. It's a carbon copy of what Ben said. I mean, I haven't read House of M, but you can just tell by the way that the stories come out.
You haven't read House of M?
No, I'm not. If you don't know by now, I'm not an X-Men fan. But
that's not. It's an everything book. It's Avengers and everything. Get on that this week, Charlie. That's your homework for this week.
That's my homework.
Okay?
I have homework this week. Okay, right.
Did I say this was a bit pointless, this book? I think it was another pointless book.
Massively.
To be honest.
Yeah. So it's another binner.
That's my book of my read of the week, guys. The Secret Land from Dark Horse Comics. I would recommend that if anybody wants to go and read a good book this week, that this would be my pick of the week.
There we go. I've just dropped it in the chat. I've dropped Dark Horse Comics in the chat. But we're going to have a little segue now, because everyone's trying to guess Andy's age. So what age does the chat think I am? Winner gets a hug. There we go. If you want a good read, that's a sleeper. Read Justice League Last Ride.
That's a terrible prize during a global pandemic, can I just say?
He's smart. He's shrewd.
Hugs only go to people who have been too bad.
I was actually going to offer like a mystery box of some sort, but then I realised that there's lots of our American cousins in the chat, and I was like, no, I'm not paying for shipping.
35. We've got you look around 38.
Okay.
And we've got 34.
Okay.
34. We've got 28. Mr. Butler's after it.
Mr. Butler, 28.
If he's 28, he's had a hard. He's had a hard 28 year. 28 stone. There we go. But moving swiftly on, it's another perfect segue, and it is time for the. It's time for Perpetual Comics' The Killer Indie Picks for New Comic Book Day, June 16th. Now, we've got a treat because there's 14 of them this week, isn't there, Andy?
Oh, I'll be back in 15 minutes, guys.
I'm so sorry, guys, but there was so much to choose from this week. Pause. I'm going to make it quick. So we have the silver coin. I'm going to need to make my screen bigger because I'm so old, I can't really see the screen. So that's a hint for my age, guys. Wikibox, good guess. Keep going. So we've got silver coin issue number 3. This has been fantastic. I've been picking up cover A and B for this, and what basically happens is Michael Walsh is doing the artwork for all of the issues. So this was originally going to be a 5-issue run, and it's ongoing now, which is absolutely brilliant. So I think is it Ed Bryson? Ed Bryson, yeah. Bryson, yeah. So I would highly recommend that you go and pick these up, because you don't need to know the previous 2 issues. These are just individual stories, a little bit like Ice Cream Man, and the first 2 issues have been absolutely fantastic. So silver coin issue number 3, yeah.
Sweet. Oh.
Our favorite Stillwater is issue number 8. This probably for me, I mean, I'm sure Killer Comics is going to do like a review show at the end of the year. idea. We should do a review show at the end of the year and look at our top 5 books. Ben looks absolutely enthused about that idea, doesn't he? He's like, oh yeah, okay, another show, you guys. Drink more of that. Drink more of that hyper juice that you're drinking.
I'm hoping more of the fact we got 13 left to go.
Wow, this is shocking. This is crazy. So Stillwater issue number 8, Chip Zdarsky, absolutely killing it. I can't recommend this highly enough. Myself and Charlie are big fans of this. And Ben, who hates everything, has read it and he likes it.
And the first 6 issues are out on trade paperback now. So if you can't be bothered or you can't get hold of all the first 6 issues, read the trade paperback and you will not be disappointed.
Mr. Butler said he just put his glasses on. He said 33.
We've got 33, we've got 37.
Cheeky bastards. So next up, we've got Time Before Time, issue number 2. This is another book that I'm really looking forward to. Issue number 1 was, for me, was fantastic. It was something completely different and doing something that, dare I say, all the big books, Marvel, DC aren't doing at the minute. And this is by Declan Shalvey, who is from the good old Ireland of Ireland.
Yeah, it is. We have
Home issue number 3. So again, we've reviewed issue number 1. I can't remember if we touched on issue number 2. I think James from Comic Deal put us off reading issue number 2 because we know what his views are on this book. But issue number 2, I thought lacked a lot for me. But it's one of those ones, because I know that it's based on a real life story, that I'm really intrigued to see where they actually go with this one. So I'm going to be picking up issue number 3. We may or may not pick that as our pick of the week next week. Next. Oh, can't hear you.
There we go. Sorry. Chris,
no, do what you did, because that was actually much better. I don't know, Ben, do you agree? 42? Chris? 57?
He upset me last week. He's now upset you. Charlie, you're next week.
It's the same number of indie picks for next week.
Guys, like, it's my birthday, leave me alone, please. Come on.
Chris, you're growing on me now. Chris, you're growing on me.
Jupiter's Legacy Requiem. We know how divided people were about the TV show. I just wanted an excuse to put up a jock cover.
Can I just say that the first season, it's been cancelled already. There's no second season coming back. Done.
Apparently it's cancelled because it was costing so much money to produce. So there we go.
It's costing so much money on these jock covers, I'll tell you that. Yeah. But yeah, Mark Miller, Tommy Lee Edwards, June 16th.
This was one that intrigued me. This is going to be a 5-issue run by Image Comics. It's by written by Robert McKenzie, and it just looks like one of those ones that is either going to be a real binner or a real kind of killer book. And I'm really interested to see where this one goes. I'm not going to read through the whole synopsis of it all, but basically go check out your previews magazine or the website. It looks an intriguing book and one that I am going to give a read next week.
I think it's safe to say that whether you're living in the northeast, south, or west, you're going to enjoy it.
So yes, Geiger, issue number 1, 4th printing. I know somebody in the chat had mentioned that this is a fantastic read. I've not actually started reading. Are you okay, Ben? do you notice?
He's so pleased with himself.
Nobody takes a piss when it's everybody else's sections. I'm just going to say that.
Sorry.
Geiger, issue number 1, 4th printing. Need to say more. Go buy it. Pure spec. All these 2nd, 3rd, 4th printings seem to be going through the roof, and I like the red cover on this one.
Yeah, Copy's loving this. Yeah. I love the skull. I love the skull that looks like to be appearing in the smoke. That's quite decent.
Yeah.
Oh.
The Many Deaths of Layla Starr by Ram V. Issue number 3. Issue number 2 was my favourite single issue that I've read this year. I can't speak highly enough of this run. This is going to be in my top 5 reads this year, along with Sea of Sorrows. Pick it up, guys. Do yourself a favour. I know we read issue number 2, and I know some of the guys in Team Nerdherd over in America had reviewed it based on my recommendation. So yeah, give it a read. Again, this is another issue number 1. This is Save Yourself. This is a 4-issue series by Boom Studios. And it just looks like one of those books that is a little bit of a sleeper that nobody's really talking about. It's by a writer called Bones Leopard. If there's any other reason you need to read this book, it's just for that. So I think this is like maybe the imprint of. Oh, it's okay.
Sorry,
am I going too slowly?
Sorry.
I think this is like the kids version of Boom Studios,
Yeah.
so it's like Scoot, I think it's called. So it'll be an interesting read, and it just looks like one of those ones that you've not got a huge investment. It's only 4 issues. Dive in and see what it's like.
Go for it. This
Silver
looks
City issue number 2. Silver City issue number 1 for me was again another one of those books that were just doing something a little bit different from everybody else. Again, this is Aftershock, so this is the same people that are doing Bunny Mask, but it just shows you that there's so many different types of stories, so much different artwork, that you're just kind of taking a chance, I guess, with what you're diving into. But for me, I really enjoyed issue number 1, and I'm going to check out issue number 2.
Cool.
Again, there's lots of first issues coming out next week. Again, this is an Aftershock title. This is 7 Swords, and it's Evan Doherty is the writer. And this kind of looks, I don't know, I think this is an ongoing book. I don't think there's like 4 or 5 issues. So I'm going to give issue number 1 a go just to see what it's like. Because it's Aftershock, it's a little bit like Boom Studios. I always pick up the first issue, see what it's like. But it looks like a good swashbuckling tale.
Oh, this looks good. I'm interested in this.
Speaking of swashbuckling tales, we've got Ablaze with another issue number 1. I think this has been pushed back a couple of weeks. I think this is meant to come out a little bit earlier, but there's so many covers for this. It is unbelievable. I'm going to butcher the name here. It's Leiji Matsumoto is the writer for this.
Yeah.
But Captain Harlock, Space Pirate, that's all I need to say. Pick up the first issue, have a read, see what you think. But as I say, there's something about this book that tells me that it's going to be a killer just because the amount of people that are involved from covers.
And there's 16 covers coming out. I had the pleasure of doing all the editing today for Monday's video, and there's 16 covers. Yeah, just the 16. Yeah.
Nottingham, issue number 1. We're on our 3rd printing for this. I'll be open and transparent on this one, guys. I haven't read any of Nottingham, but I've heard so many good things. I'm going to wait until it comes out in trade before I pick it up, because the first printing, even the 2nd printing of issue number 1 and issue number 2 have went through the roof on eBay. But I've heard really good things, and I know that James from Comic Deal, big shout out to Comic Deal, he's a big fan of this book.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I've been reading this. I've been enjoying it, and I've always said that this is the Robin Hood story that we should have. We should have got. Yeah, totally. Yeah. I just want to go into the chat. Fuzzy Donut says the new Nightwing cover coming out next week is stunning. Are you talking about the main cover, or are you talking about the Raphael Grassetti variant? Because the Raphael Grassetti variant is insane. It's probably one of the best Nightwing covers I've ever seen. It's incredible, because obviously DC have done a Pride version as well. But yeah, that one is great. We've got Curse picked up a grab bag with 3 issues of Reaver in today. Heard of it? The covers are brilliant.
Yeah. Reaver is a fantastic story. Yeah, that's old school. That's one of the first. When I get into indie comics, that was one of the first ones I picked up. I'd highly recommend it.
And there we go, off topic. But Kirst also grabbed the 4 issues of Stranger Things D&D earlier because we just watched the series. You guys read them. I've read 1 or 2 issues, but I'm a massive fan of the TV show, so I didn't really get in to that. But as we're talking about picking up comics and picking up covers and stuff, I think it's only fair that we do what we do best, and that is there we go. It's one of our favourite segments of the week. It's Crampton's Killer Covers for New Comic Book Day, June number 9th. There we go. If I can get into it. Why is it not working?
Don't worry, guys. The money got free.
Oh, why is it not working? It's not working, Ben. For fuck's sake. There we go. Full screen. Let's go. There we go.
Find the staff.
There we go.
Here we go.
Hey,
So
there we
we've
go.
already seen this cover earlier in the show, but this is the DC Pride Jen Bartel variant, whose work is consistently brilliant. It's just very romantic, isn't it? Very tender, captures the love story perfectly, I think. And can we just appreciate, if anything, the work on jewelry? Like, the detail on the jewelry is actually really good. Like, good jewelry work, Jen Bartel. Good work. Next. Okay, so I don't know whether, Charlie, have you included a couple on this or just this one?
I've just included this one, and this one.
Boom. Juan Bernardo with these negative space variants now, but I have absolutely nothing negative to say about these. They're so simple. You know, fans love the Rangers. They just put one on the cover. No distractions, no shit. Just boom, Pink Ranger, boom, White Ranger, boom. My favourite, Zach, the Black Ranger. These covers have certainly made my monster grow. And lastly, the Kyle Ngu Amazing Spider-Man 68 variant here. So Spidey is currently a terrible title, by the way, if no one knew. So let's just help sell some of this shit by making the coolest variants ever. We've seen, I don't know whether you guys have seen, but in Venom 35, you can see like Venom doing like a slam dunk. So now we see Miles taking strides across the court. I don't know, is strides? Is that what they say? My sole knowledge, to be fair, of basketball is based around Space Jam. So it's
see, interestingly, in this cover, it won't be the fact that it's Spider-Man playing basketball that will sell this. It's the fact that he's wearing those trainers, because all the shoe heads love. Yeah, all the shoe heads will pick these covers up.
And who is that in the back?
That's
well,
Ben.
the audience is very Space Jam as well. Like, so you've got like Kingpin. I think you can see Gnarl, Carnage, Venom, Spider-Man. They're all there.
Mephisto.
Which makes no sense, by the way, that the villains are there cheering on Miles. But
and you've also got like a Spider-Man behind Kingpin as well. There is. Yeah. Spider-Man.
Those are my covers of the week, people.
Loved it. I love the covers.
Take them or leave them. I don't care, but they're my choices.
But I think we're getting to it now, and I think we're getting to the part that kind of people kind of like. So we might as well let's just jump straight into it. Peach of the week. And it's Ben again.
I didn't think we were doing this anymore.
No, well, we are. We're kind of we've readjusted it, so it's Peach of the week, but it's cover of the week because this for me is a peach. This is a peach of the week, and it was your pick, Ben. Yeah,
guys, we had some complaints from Ofcom about peaches, so we've adjusted it to panels, or peachy panels of the week. It's a stretch, but anyway, this was a panel of my week. And this is Kevin Feige in the latest X-Men. So it's just like a really brief moment. Obviously, Kevin Feige has been invited to the gala or whatever. But it's if you kind of like your speculation and keys and things like that, I've actually now gone and bought this book just because of this moment. This is technically Kevin Feige's first appearance.
There we go. Look at that.
There you go.
But then we've also got
last minute entry.
Ben gave us a double. Oh look! I don't think it's going down well, boys.
Oh God, yeah.
I feel betrayed.
We've lost all of our viewers, which seem to be dirty old men.
Right, okay. But we're getting better. We're getting better. Don't worry. We are getting there. Right, hold on. Oh no, it's all gone. It's all gone bums up.
You know what, Charlie? Do you want me to send you on like a Microsoft course?
That's fine. There we go. Look, there we go.
So my second panel actually came from Joker, issue 4. So this is Vengeance, Bane's daughter. I just love the idea that she can just snap a tree with her legs, and just then went off into a trance about her thighs. Big fan of Vengeance. And
Okay.
thighs.
And there we go. Look, this is the cover that we were talking about. This is Barnard with a lovely little peach there. Just for all of you readers out there. We thought we was just trying something. We just wanted to see if you guys were interested in it. And you're clearly not. So this is obviously from Stake 4. This is Barnard, the drag race act. She's got a nice little derriere there. I thought it was quite peachy.
I think the chat should get involved. So
100%. Well, you say that. Well, you say that. So I've saved the best till last. So Mr. Butler, who is in the chat, has actually said what it's all expecting. Dawn is for real. Now, this is what we want. This is what we want, the engagement from people in the chat. So if you've got Peaches of the Week, do what Mr. Butler did and send me them, and you will be featured on Peach of the Week. Now, here we go. This is Dawn issue number 1. Serious. $295 it was. Look at these covers. There's peaches, there's melons, there's pears. This is a real fruitful for the eye, this one. I'll tell you about that. So massive.
Nice sword as well.
It's a very nice sword, a very, very nice sword. But he didn't just send us 2 covers. Oh, no. Mr. Butler sent us 4 covers. Look at this one here. This is a...
Please don't do that with your cursor. Please don't do that with your cursor. No. No.
This is a peachy derriere. So there we have it. Right, we've trialled something. It didn't work. It didn't work as well as we thought it would do. It was a bit close to comfort. Didn't work as well as we thought it would do. We've had some great comments. We've had how has Bane got such a grown child? Was it a test tube bred? There we go. The disappointment is unreal. Not great, not terrible. Hairy coconut. We've got Mr. Butler for president, and we have Butler for president. That's 2 Butlers for president.
Can I make a suggestion in that case then? So it feels like Peach of the Week is quite an important segment, pardon the pun, and people enjoy it quite a lot. So what I'm going to suggest is for next week is that people submit their own Peach of the Week, and if they use the hashtag The Killer Comic Show, either on Twitter or Instagram or whatever it might be, or alternatively you can send it to Charlie. I'm just imagining Charlie's inbox full of...
It's fine. It's okay. It's okay.
I think we can obviously pick some of the best ones and display them.
The rest is filler. There we go. It came out last week and it's not great, but better than we saw. There we go. Look, don't worry about it. We will be back. Peach of the Week. We tried something. We thought we'd see how it goes down. It went down like the Titanic. So we'll try something better next week. I'll happily submit my Peach, but I'll suspect you'll remove me from Insta. Give it a go. Why not? Give it a go. Just try it. OnlyFans comic show. Why not? Yeah, there we go.
Well, we did mention Killer Comics After Dark. That's
So, but we've got things planned. Guys, first of all, I just want to say a massive shout out to everyone in the chat that got engaged straight from the start. Massive shout out to the US brothers over there, everyone getting involved. We are going to be doing the Loki segment every single week until the show finishes. So if you want to jump on, make sure you watch it on the Wednesday, so we don't give away any spoilers on the Thursday, and we'll point out the Easter eggs when they come thick and fast. As always, we're just going to hand over the screen to all of the guests, and so they can tell us what we've got coming up this week. Andrew.
Nothing. Impromptu lives whenever the feeling takes me. I'll be preparing for next week's Killer Comic Show. What else? I'm feeling that I'm forgetting things. Obviously, we've got Alan Quay, which we're looking forward to. I'm also going to be on Team Nerdhead over in America. I think that'll be next Sunday. And we're going to be reviewing Moths issue number 1. That was kind of my pick of the week for those guys. And there is rumours that we may be answering probably the killer question, the one that's kind of been floating about the comic community is, does Doomsday Clock suck? There's going to be a crossover to end all crossovers. The Killer Comics crew will be joined by Panels and Pints to answer that question. So we will reveal more about that and the date, etc., when that's happening. But let's just say we'll be able to squash that rumor, whether or not it sucks or not.
Thank you very much. Oh, what am I doing? There we go. Yeah, not me. It doesn't need to be me yet. It needs to be. Where's he gone? There we go. What happened there? Jesus, technical fault tonight. Apologies.
He's fucked his shit, and now he's done.
I have. Just one more thing, Andy. You forgot to mention. Don't buy a bunny mask. There we go. Whatever you do, don't buy a bunny mask. Ben, what have you got coming up, sir?
So my Where It All Started series is coming to an end next week, guys. Yeah, sorry, I thought I was gonna hear tears. So do head over to my channel and you can watch. So I've done everything from Fantastic Four all the way through to Spider-Man, and then next week will be Black Panther and Thor to round off the week. So all 8 episodes of Where It All Started will be on there, so you can binge watch to your heart's content. I appeared on Nick the Comic Nerd's channel and did a little Origins interview about why I read comics and everything like that. Other than that, see you next Thursday.
There we go. That is great. And then we have, now I've just got a few thumbs down here. 1 thumbs down, I salute you. That was probably, I don't know, probably someone that didn't like Page of the Week. What can we say?
Oh, they just changed it. So sorry.
Oh, okay, cool. And there we go. Look, definitely. Oh, who's this? Someone called Not Quite Mint. Definitely.
Oh, there's the thumbs down. There's where the thumbs down came from. Mm-hmm.
Definitely don't buy bunny mask. A Saturday show. Nice. Have a good weekend, Joel. There we go. Look, great show, gentlemen.
Can I just very quickly say, Charlie, before Not Quite Mint are releasing their crates. So I think the new crate is just coming out as well. So I've literally just purchased one, and I'm hoping that it'll arrive in the next couple of days, and I'll do an impromptu to reveal what's in that box. So full disclaimer, I paid for it and stuff like that, and I know that Tom is a brother on this channel, but I will be reviewing the contents of that and letting everybody know what it's like. So go over to his channel and check it out.
And there we go. Look, go watch Ben's Fantastic Four episode. Funny as fuck, I have to say.
Thank you. If you want a reason to go and watch it, there is nudity, like legitimate nudity.
There we go. Chris Wakerbot, Lewis, what is a crate? Contact. Yeah, mystery box. Contact either one of us or head over to Not Quite Mint and DM them, and they will let you know. Go onto the website. You'll see what's included in one of the crates. So if you need any more information, just feel free to contact either one of us or Tom at Not Quite Mint, and he will be happy to help you. With me,
asking for the definition of a crate, or
no, I think he's in the crate. Lewis is new to connecting comic books, so he's kind of understanding, like he's obviously hearing crate and mystery box and stuff like that, so he kind of wants to see what is included in that. But yeah, go check him out.
I've stuck a link in the doobly-doo.
In the diddly-do. But for me, we've got the Top Comic Releases show on a Monday, 12 o'clock, as always. We're adding more publishers in. We've got Behemoth, we've got Heavy Metal, we've got Black Master. They're all coming in thick and fast, which is making my work 10 times harder, but I enjoy doing it for you guys. And then on Saturday, there's no Killer Comic show yet on Thursday, but on Saturday we do have the man of the minute. It is Mr. Alan Quay, so he will be sitting down with us at a nice decent time in the UK for once, and we'll be having some comic chat. I'm sure we'll be having some banter and laughs and stuff. So all the stuff that you see on a Thursday, we will be rolling over probably to next week, because the Saturday show will be the interview with Mr. Alan Quay. But guys, it's been amazing. It's been another great show. It hasn't been a great week for comics, let's be honest, but I think the saviour of the show was the god of mischief, and it was Mr. Loki himself. So thanks for making an appearance tonight, Mr. Loki. And there we go. Look, worn out, but still bringing the laughs. Guys,
highlight that guy.
Highlight that. Let's just give him a solo screen. And on that note, guys, it's fantastic. We love doing this for you every Thursday. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the comics that you're reading. And remember, Killer Comics Show is the way to go. See you later, guys.